Hello all, hope we are all doing well and we are in our discussion of practicing independent writing. And today's topic is contemporary focuses on independent writing. As you can understand from the topic that it is not about some rules, regulations, structure as we were discussing in the earlier topics, but it is more of issue or policy based and more of a philosophical thing. It would have been better if we could have dialogue, but I am assuming certain dialogues in my head and I am going through it. So we will talk about contemporary focuses on independent writing. Now, before we start about thinking what is contemporary, let's think about what is independent writing and why independent writing is important. So independent writing starts when children write by themselves. This is a very simple take on it, and this is what it is that a child generally imitates and writes, and a fine morning the child declares that okay, I want to write about this. Maybe about pet, maybe about best friend or someone or something which has bothered her or him, not you. So the issue is picked up by the child. That is when that person is independent writer. Now texts that they write need to be familiar and clearly arise from what has been demonstrated in modeled writing and composed in guided writing. So prior to independent writing, there is modeled writing and composed in guided writing, right? In independent writing situation, teachers construct conditions for children to write, explore and respond to text independently. This is we are talking about in classroom situation, that when a child starts to write independently in a classroom, the teacher actually create that environment, and one teacher should create that environment because that is what our aim is, to make the child an independent writer. Contemporary trends in literature nowadays can be summed up in a very lucid and maybe in a debatable way, and certain focuses like feelings, emotions, experiential issues and societal issues. These are the things nowadays given most importance as contemporary trends in literature. So independent writing is an opportunity for children to write exploratively and wonderingly, finding voice through writing. This is what Wilson said. So just relate those two, that a child explores and wanders through the world, and he or her emotions, feelings, experience, these are turned into written words, and that person becomes independent writer. The more truer you get, that is when you get more contemporary. Social media and independent writing. When we are talking about contemporary focuses, we must talk about social media. Now, in general, whom you may talk with, this is said that the basic writing skills of pupils and students are adversely affected by the use of social media and networking. And it is proven almost every research work done in this field. So we cannot really overlook this. But new avenues of independent writing has emerged through the advent of social media. We cannot deny that. Content writing, script writing on social media, blogging, vlogging, network writing. These are the major fields which has emerged. And with that, new ideas came, one gadget which has become the medium of expression for independent writing. Before we talk about contemporary focuses, we have to understand how one single gadget has influenced all those contemporary focuses. That you may debate about use of mobile for pupil in classroom, you may dislike it, but it is the gadget where they write directly. In this generation, mobile is the pen and paper, and they can write their independent thoughts, and you will be amazed how many apps are there to encourage those thoughts. There are apps which are designed in such a way that independent writing becomes easier. There are numerous stimuli presented on those templates in those apps, which you are actually creating in your classroom, but actually student has those in that app, in that mobile they have in their pocket. So we teachers have to think about, can we really discard mobile from classroom? This is a big debatable issue, but no longer an issue which we should keep outside of classroom. We have to bring it in. Issues of independent writing among students. What are the issues that always important, and nowadays it is given much importance. So when students are practicing independent writing, these are the issues which are very much contemporary. That is, independent writing and development of personal, social and emotional behavior is related, highly related. Understanding the world without independent writing gets tougher. So we should encourage and bring functionality. Expressiveness is arts and design. Very, very important part of independent writing, and which make the person contemporary in its behavior, in its thoughts, in his future life, because it brings about the functionality of it. And you are giving importance to higher level cognition, that is creating and critical thinking. And finally, what is we all dream about in a learning situation, this puts active learning forward. So, as far as teachers' point of view, what the learner should do and what the teacher should do, there is a list of it, and the Surrey School Canada has presented this format, and they have designed an excellent independent writing platform also. So what they are presenting, some of those are teachers are conferring with other learners. Independent writing, teachers should do it, and a teacher is actually observing writers in action and checking in as needed, then and there. You can actually make the writing functional by giving importance in your classroom situation and listening to and celebrating text that is either in progress or completed. And like these kind of action, teachers may help students to develop into an independent writer. On the other hand, learners' part is setting self-monitoring goals, right? And applying learning from previous lessons and conferences. And then they can move on to offering a variety of publishing options. As teacher presents those, students should take it. And they can get into those contemporary platforms via these practices. These are no longer options. These are the practices, regular practices in a normal classroom situation. This is how we can celebrate contemporary focuses in independent writing. Finally, we can conclude by stating the idea of independence is not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves. That will make the successful human being, and that will actually make the human being independent. So when you focus on this and then go about any kind of content, process, structure, you are actually choosing to be contemporary. Thank you.